Umzimvubu Farmers Support Network. We started our organization back in 2015. Sichukunyiswa by an action that was ongoing for over 18 years, whereby Amapolisa would come to the Eastern Cape and strategically spray a very poisonous chemical, glyphosate, and spray it over amasimi abantu to try and eradicate the growing of cannabis. They would spray this chemical over the fields, over food crops, over people's homesteads, over rivers, contaminating everything. And there is actually a way in which it is supposed to be done if you are going to use the pesticide. You are supposed to demarcate exactly where you are going to spray and alert your neighbors not to come anywhere near them and their animals because it is that toxic. But this is something that was ongoing and it was done by the authorities, the police in South Africa for many, many years. So, and if I may just point out that this poison has been banned in a lot of countries around the world because it was used in many countries that grow illicit crops into whatever that they use it for. So we engaged as individuals out of the spirit of activism, and we thought, no, there must be something wrong with this that's going on here. Can't be completely right. So this gentleman over here, he is going to introduce himself when he speaks, but if I may just take the moment to say, on behalf of Amampondo, because this thing is the one thing that terrorized Amampondo farmers, in fact, not just in Mpondo land, Zululand and some parts in the country that are profusely growing cannabis. I would just like to say, this is the guy that made that difference within just one instance of challenging the police and saying, according to the law, it's not allowed. So we took on this action and we've just continued engaging the communities. Please don't mind me if I don't continue scrolling on this thing. I've a little bit of a condition. I can't speak and also do these things. So we took on the actions and we continue to say, please, anybody who can help. So we've invited journalists, we've invited doctors to come down to the area to see the place, to speak to the people. We were not getting paid by anybody. This is back in 2015. Nobody was talking about cannabis. And nobody was talking about what's going on there because we all assumed, I know it's done by the police, so it's in place. Midnight raids, all of these things. Let me not take everybody back there. But everybody is grateful that this has happened. And this is the one thing that has remained a trauma to them. If you go to Mpondoland now and you try and engage them, it is very rare. If you go to the actual areas, you must see their fields. Their fields are up on the mountains and down the rivers. Impossible places to get to because they are hiding. Even now, when you go there, they will hide. They don't want to speak to anybody because they can't trust anything. If a helicopter flies over that place, everybody goes hiding. Everybody is traumatized. Up until today, they don't know what the law means. They don't know this shift in the law. They can't conceive of what it actually means. So we've continued, ever since the spraying stopped in 2016, we continued to go back and forth to them whenever we would be invited to these kind of gatherings. Back in 2017, we were called up in Pretoria to come and comment on guidelines that were given out by the then MCC, Medical Control Council, which is now SAPRA. They called everybody and said, there's an urgent meeting, please come. We came and we listened, and we were listening on behalf of the communities. So we took back whatever we heard and said, communities, this is what we are being told about what's going to happen if ganja is being allowed to be grown. There's going to be a need for high fences and securities and all of these things that were suggested. The communities gave us their word and said, hey, listen, we don't understand any of this that you're talking about. ngazo zonke izinto esibiya ngazo apha asiyazi kwalento enisixelela yona. And we've continued to do that. We've continued to be those people that are taking back everything to the communities and representing what the communities say. And up until now, we are going to go back to them and engage them and let them know this is what it looks like. But we do need the help of Urhulumente to step in, because there is a need for engagement. There is a need for Urhulumente to actually go there and see this terrain. Injani le ndawo before kwenziwe imithetho, before when si implement izinto sithetha ngazo apha, ezinye indawo akufikeki kuzo. We leave the car somewhere parked somewhere up the road, and then we walk for over an hour to get to Mkhumbi village. You cross Umzimvubu river, and this is the same river that the elderly cross through. Whether bayagula, whether badinga health services, whether badinga ukuya esivenkileni, bawela lo mfula, abanazo access roads and abanazo facilities phaya, akukho clinics, and abantwana take a whole 3 hours to get to school because bonyuka ezindaba. So it's a little bit of a complicated situation if you are talking about the real people who should be benefiting from this, and it's large, it's huge. So I'm a little bit worried in things proceeding without actually going there and then seeing it and then making the decisions. But how are we going to make it work for this? So we would like to formalize a structure ST that would have been present in this kind of thing, that would have been here to listen for themselves, so that they go back to the communities and say, this is what's happening. So it would be nice to start there, to have a formal structure, to recognize the rural farmers, to say, this is what they have to say. And in terms of the bill coming to pass, whenever it will be, that will formalize things, we would like for them to represent themselves, because we can't do this forever as well. And I don't know if I've covered everything. I would just like for Oriki to elaborate a little bit more on the legal side of things. Thank you.
Thank you, Pila, and good morning to everyone here. I'll be very brief. Philasande did introduce me, so she kind of spoiled my joke. You wouldn't have been wrong if you thought I looked more like a lawyer than a rural farmer. And it's because I am an attorney. I'm also a son of the